Hey, y'all, welcome back. Today, we're going to be talking about the art of networking, and then we're going to discuss ways to boost your career prospects, which is what networking does. So, again, I'm going to get into our focus. I made these cute little graphics. So, it's taken me a little while just trying to find my rhythm over here on YouTube and figure out what's going to work, what isn't going to work. I like to do things that are more interactive and that way, you guys can stay engaged. But this is also meant to just listen, listen, take the notes, take it all in, and get everything that you need. So this is me. Hey, y'all, I'm Ebony. I'm the founder of Emerald Career Consulting. For over a decade, I've been dedicated to helping individuals and businesses shine in the professional world. My business, Emerald Career Consulting, specializes in strategic branding, professional development, and recruitment solutions tailored to unique client goals. So basically, I don't have a one size fit all. I do everything customized, make sure that it fits your brand, whether it's a personal or a business brand, and just kind of move you guys forward. But this is me. I'm reporting to you guys live from Louisiana. All right, so our key points today. We're going to talk about identifying networking goals and how it affects your professional branding, how you can network over social media, as well as ways to network your way into a mentorship. So, here are your requirements for this class. You're going to need a notebook, quality pen, and your listening ears. Again, if you don't have those things right now as you're listening to it, just be sure to come back so you can take these notes, and just keep up with the things that you'll need because I have some really great things for you in this course. All right. So the first thing that we want to do when we are networking is you don't want to go into anything haphazardly. You want to identify your goals. So for networking, there has to be something that you want to achieve, whether that's a new job, whether you want to get new insights or information, or just make new connections. Um, in my consulting, because I do consulting with professional individuals who are seeking to basically enhance their careers and make sure that they are achieving these, the big goals that they have set for themselves. One of the main things that we focus on in any of those is networking. Now, some of my consultant clients, some of them are a little bit more advanced, so they don't require much networking. Some of them are just getting started, so they want like from the bottom up of what networking looks like, what it is, how you benefit, all that good stuff. And so all of that comes with it. I will say personally in networking that, a lot of my jobs, like where I've worked for other companies instead of working for myself, have come from networking. So they've come from people reaching out to me, whether they've seen me interactive on social media or whether they've contacted a friend of mine or maybe a family member seeking someone just like me, and so that's how my network has helped me expand. So you guys can utilize those same skills. There's an old saying that says it's not what you know, it's who you know. I think it's a little bit of both. However, if you utilize what you know to get to the who you know, then your chef's kiss is perfect for you. So let's get started. So when I talk about building a professional brand, you can do that from home, but you also have to do that within your community. So one of the first steps in building a professional brand, people use LinkedIn, they use their professional resume, or they use their personal brand. I like to use all of the above. So LinkedIn is a really great way to build a professional brand because you can essentially tailor your LinkedIn page to everything that you're interested in. And that's typically what I express to my clients. Like, if you're looking for a job in, I don't know, in plumbing. I love plumbing. I'm obsessed with it now because I've been learning to do some things at home. I've been learning to do some things at home, like the little small things that'll kind of help, keep me from seeing a plumber so often. But So, say for instance, if you're interested in that, then your LinkedIn can be tailored to that, right? So, it can be tailored to new trends, any type of ways that people can maintain their plumbing at home. Like one of the things lately that I've been learning about is in Louisiana. I don't know how it is in your state, but in Louisiana, gnats kind of grow in our pipes, or fruit flies rather. They grow in our pipes, and then when it gets warm, they kind of hatch and come out, and it's this whole thing. So I've been learning on how to treat my plumbing systems to make sure that that doesn't happen, and that I don't have the nuisance of gnats all over the house and things like that. So if you were to take your LinkedIn page and tailor it towards that, then people would know, hey, that's a plumber. Same thing with medicine. If you were a nurse or a doctor and you focused on like some particular specialty, it could be plastic surgery, it could be ENT, whatever it is. But if you just tailored that LinkedIn page to all the things that you are specializing in, then when people come across that, or when people are searching that, that algorithm is pushing that, hey, Jack here knows everything there is to know about this, and this is the type of person that we need. We need someone who knows what they're talking about, who's staying up on trending topics, who's available, so your LinkedIn does that. Now, your professional resume does that as well, because that professional resume then gets down to the nitty gritty of it. Like it tells people, like, hey, I did A, B, C, and D, and the result of that was this. So, a professional resume is always going to be a great thing for you to utilize when we're talking about professional branding. And then your personal brand, right? So, what are you talking about on your personal pages? Do people know what you do? We went through this phase. I know it's millennials for sure. I'm not really sure about other generations, but we went through this phase where we didn't want people to know what we did. Like we wanted to be completely separated from what we did, and that had nothing to do with who we are personally and all this other stuff. But that's simply not true. It's not true. We spend a lot of our time at work. We spend a lot of our time networking. We spend a lot of our time talking about the things that we do, whether it's just to family and friends. So there is no way that it's not going to spill over into your personal. And so what I have done for myself is that I have just made sure that people understand, like, hey, it's certain things that you guys do. There's really tacky at my job, like, and I'm telling you this as a friend, but when I clock into work, we're saying no to my same friends that are on my Facebook page or on my Twitter page, because that's a no-no in my professional job. So it's almost like I built my brand being able to express to people like, hey, I know we're just joking and having a good time, but they be talking about you at work. And so from there, it just really grew, and people were able to appreciate the information that I was giving to them and that I was sharing with them, because I was being honest. Like, I have an example that I would never forget, and I don't think my followers will forget it either, where somebody came to my job and had written their resume on loose leaf paper. And although I can admire that, no one else does. All right. Like the pencil is going to erase, it's not going to keep up. I couldn't read the handwriting. Like, there were so many different things that were wrong with it on why you are not to do that, and why a resume is always recommended to be typed. And so I really kind of started giving people that information, like, hey, you should make sure that you have a professional email address, because Bookie Bottoms girl is not what's going to get you, that email back or that call back that you want. You're going to file 13 and you don't want to be there. So building your personal brand and linking it into your professional brand, I promise you, you think that there is something wrong with it. It's not. You should do it. All right. So let's talk about joining professional organizations. So there are several organizations. I would say just about every skill set in every industry has an organization linked to it, right? So you can research those organizations. They have conferences, they have publications that give you more information, and they also have online forums and groups. And let's talk about this, because I'm in several. And one of the most popular ones for HR is SHRM, which is Society for Human Resource Management. And then, of course, we have other organizations after that, and they're all great organizations and they all have their own specialties. But within those organizations alone, I'm able to network, connect with other people that are just like me. From there, I was able to find other recruiters. From there, I was able to find other recruiters that are consultants. From there, I was able to find other recruiters that are consultants that consult specifically, my niche. So it just gets deeper and deeper the further into it that you go. But the further that you go, you're starting to learn from people who encounter the same things that you encounter. They have solved some problems that you may have, because they're a little bit ahead of you, and then the same thing, you may be able to reach back and help some other people who haven't encountered problems that you have. And I've been in the position of both, and it has been wonderful. I did an interview not too long ago, and one of the biggest things that I said to me, I'm sure other people will find other gems in there, but one of the biggest things that I found is that when starting my business, it was scary, of course, but I was adamant that no one was going to let me fail. Like, when I was just doing this for fun and just trying to help people out, and, people were forcibly paying me because I wasn't accepting payments at one point, like my client base is who told me, that, hey, you need to take this a little bit more seriously. And so from there, I started doing the research. I started, attending conferences and just getting more serious about my craft and being able to understand the information that people that I interact with on a daily basis did not understand about job searching, or applying to jobs or interviewing or things like that. And it really just grew. So these professional organizations helped me because my clients could only get me so far, like they encouraged me 100%. But then when it came down to the nitty gritty of being in those professional organizations or even like those online groups or forums, which I want to plug the Career Corner, which is my Facebook online group that I've started specifically for professionals looking for jobs, needing sales, needing tips, tricks, all of those good things. We do have an online forum over on Facebook. It is called the Career Corner. It's Emerald Career Consulting's the Career Corner, just FYI. However, but these people helped me. I just feel like my peers, my colleagues, they would not let my business fail. They've been with me, every step of the way. And that's far more. I've gotten way further than I would have gotten had I just relied on myself, and the knowledge that I knew. So joining a professional organization, subscribing to publications and reading up on, weekly newsletters or however frequently they send it can get you a lot further in your field than you would believe. So check those things out as well. So utilize social media. All right. So I do have a disclaimer that you want to keep in mind that Big Brother, excuse me, is watching. And when I say Big Brother is watching, I mean literally everybody. Everybody can see you. Remember that the internet is forever. Whether you choose to link your professional brand with your personal brand or not, people will find you. And those people are me and my colleagues. So, little known fact, but a lot of recruiters, a lot of people in HR, period, have burner accounts, no different than anybody else who has a burner account. Like, I think we've reached a day and age where people know that, okay, I can only post so much or I can only do so much on my personal page because my family is watching or my kids are here or whatever the case may be. And so they have these burner accounts. So does, HR personnel. And so if they're really intrigued by you, regardless of what you put on that resume, they're going to go look for you. I don't care what they tell you. They're going to go look for you. And so if they're finding you, they may not like what they see. Now, with that, with keeping that in mind, you can utilize these same profiles in a way to where that's all they see, right? So if you have a LinkedIn, which we talked about before, optimize your profile. Make your profile, if you are a rainbow specialist or if you are a popcorn specialist, then make your profile all about rainbows and popcorn. And that's what your profile needs to be. Join groups about rainbows and popcorn and share content about rainbows and popcorn, especially on LinkedIn. You want to do it across the board, but specifically on LinkedIn because that's where they're going to look for you first. Now, and then you have X, which is formerly Twitter. I know some people think that it's a free for all. I know Twitter gets the name of being like the smoker section of social media, but people are looking there. Recruiters are there. They're typing in keywords. They're looking for people. They're really seeing your personality there. And so they're able to gauge whether or not it's worth the risk of your personality via, what you're actually putting out in the world. But also, they're industry leaders on TikTok. I mean, on Twitter, and you can become one too. You can use hashtags as well, and you can engage with others. That's what those recruiters are doing also. So just kind of keep that in mind. But you can utilize that platform to kind of find your niche and get in your zone as far as your career is concerned. And then my favorite place for personal branding is going to be Facebook. And it's Facebook because it's the OG, right? It's a little bit more personable to me, I feel. I know that some people feel a way about Facebook, but ultimately, being that it's like, the OG next to MySpace, Facebook is going to show you who a person really is and if their personal brand really aligns with who they are. But then you also get a little bit more of their personality too. On top of that, you get to join groups there as well. You can utilize Facebook pages. So if you don't necessarily want to have everything about your business on your personal page, then you can make a business page, and it doesn't have to be a quote unquote business. It can just be a professional page that you make. And it can be, I have one for emeralds, of course, but if I did it, then I could just have one that was just Ebony Bean and consulting. It doesn't necessarily have to be a business, so to speak, but you are allowed to utilize Facebook pages. And then from there, you can share professional updates, which is always a good idea. So just kind of keep that in mind that social media is there and available for you to use to network as well as boost your professional brand. All right, seek mentorship. So I found these cute little these images both on the internet, but I thought they were great. Because being a mentor, the whole purpose of it is to improve, develop, train, motivate, coach, and inspire. I have some really great mentors, and I'm always looking for more. The further I get into my career, the more inspired I am, the more I network with other professionals in their roles. I'm trying to think of ways to apply it to my own business. And so then from there, I'm just always seeking to improve, right? And so sometimes you can ask for mentorship, in a professional or a formal setting, or you can just follow some people. Like there are some people who've never even met me before, but they are my mentors in my head. I study them, I look at what they do, I am completely in awe of what they do. And so then I find ways to apply it to what it is that I do, whether it's their work ethic, whether it's the way that they treat their customers, whether it's the way they present their brand. I mean, it could literally be anything. And I just am completely inspired by it. And so I then implement those types of things into my business as well. And that's things that you can do. So, for example, there is a business here locally that I just absolutely love. And the business, to be honest with you, doesn't really link with what my business does. But the way that they carry themselves professionally and the way that they interact with the community and a lot of the things that they do, I absolutely love. And so I've been working on kind of leaning that into my professional branding of it all. Because personally, everybody knows, like, I'm gonna talk to you. I love to talk. So we could chat it up. That's not a problem. But I want to make sure that people understand that even though my business is like a professional branding or, let's be professional, let's get jobs, let's focus on career, we still have personality. And my business still has a personality as well, especially since it's really just me, dolo, behind the wheel. So I absolutely love this local business and just everything that they do. And because of that, when they do things, I'm like, okay, how can I implement this into my business? Like, how does this translate into career consulting? Like, how do I take this, I guess, campaign or, you know, this sale that they're running, how do I then translate it into mine? And I absolutely love them. I support them any chance that I get. And I mean, that's a part of it. But when you're networking with people, this is what you get to do. You get to seek mentorship, and they don't necessarily have to be in your career field for you to learn something from them, which is so important. But keep in mind that when you're networking and you're searching for a mentor, of course, if you're more so in like a novice area and you're just getting started, then you really would want to reach out to people who are in your industry because you're still kind of learning. But as you get a little bit more advanced, like maybe associate or executive level within your industry, then you want to expand. You want to see ways to create new things, and sometimes we can't see the forest for the trees. So if you're just kind of focusing on what the other business people are doing and people that you admire or you find successful and see the way that they're carrying themselves or the way they're presenting their business, then you can get ideas from that. And so it's just this never ending cycle, like the wheel keeps turning itself because we all feed off each other. We all get motivation from each other. And that's where that mentorship comes in at. But again, you get the best mentorship from networking, from putting yourself out there, from getting to know people and seeing what they have to teach you because everybody has something to teach. All right. And so when you're networking, when you're doing all of this, just never underestimate the power of a thank you. Okay. Building relationships take time and effort for sure. But the way that I find it best for me, and this may or may not work for you, but it works best for me, is to express gratitude. People are busy. We're all busy, so a simple thank you, like, hey, thank you, I really appreciate, even if it's just an encouraging word. I have another business friend whom I absolutely love, and I'll just ask random questions, and she's always like, oh yeah, sure, you do this, or hey, you can find it here, or you can go and do that. And it's absolutely wonderful. So just always sending that, like, hey, thank you for supporting me in this, or thank you for sending me this information. Like, it goes a very, very long way. So let's just keep that in mind. So when we move forward, guys, we're going to be talking about some additional things. You can find me in the meantime on Emerald Career Consulting on any platform. I'm on LinkedIn as Emerald Career Consulting, Facebook, as well as Instagram on Emerald Career Consulting. And then you can find me on TikTok at Emerald. And then what we're going to do moving forward is we're going to just get into the nitty gritty of the networking. So I'm going to come back and show you guys how to craft an elevator speech or elevator pitch, which is what I kind of told you guys at the beginning when I was like, hey, my name is Ebony. I'm the founder of Emma Career Consulting for over a decade. I've been dedicated to helping individuals and businesses shine in the professional world. So we're gonna teach you how to make your own. Okay. All right. Well, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it, and I'll be back later with something else. Bye.